Hey guys, we are sitting down with Justin and Rebekah Rhodes from the Great American Farm Tour and AbundantPermaculture.com. We're definitely excited to have them here. They're on the Grass-fed Homestead as part of the Great American Farm Tour, and they have graciously donated a little bit of their time to sit down with us to answer some of your questions as well as some of ours. So guys, thank you so much for coming here. Welcome to the Grass-fed Homestead.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Absolutely. So we got a few questions from the viewers.
Okay.
And we have a few of our own questions.
Awesome.
I guess we can start with a few viewer questions. So the first question comes from viewer Mama Grows. You guys both went to college, and they wanted to know what you guys majored in. What were your degrees?
I don't know if it matters because it's of no use.
So
college.
We both majored in. It's a bachelor's. It's a bachelor of science business management.
So you guys did the same
We
program
both have
together?
the same. Yeah.
Nice.
We went to all the same.
So we're not
classes.
applying anything we learned there, but
No,
we
yeah.
are interested in business and have been interested in business
So
all
we
our life.
graduated in 2001, and like the internet was like not existent then.
Right.
So now, with the internet being, or business just being so different than it was,
Right.
then nothing we learned there has applied to anything that we're doing now. But yeah, so we've always been business people, I guess.
Nice.
We both have college degrees as well. Mine is in political science, which is terribly non-applicable to what we do here, and actually studied classic literature. So the next question comes from Tara Ormandy, and Tara wanted to know, like, what was your catalyst to start out on the farm tour, and why the bus versus like a camper or RV? I know this is kind of one of the ones you've gotten a few times before, but maybe a newer viewer that just doesn't know yet.
Both those are your ideas, so go ahead.
Okay, so I was watching another vlog, and as the person had said, what would you do if you weren't afraid? And I would travel if I wasn't afraid. Taking 4 kids across the country into different climates and to different weather and to different bugs and different unknowns. It was just like really fearful for me to be like, this is something that we can do, and so I went to him and I said, this is what they said, and I was like, and he said, well, what would you do? And I said, travel. And Justin's always wanted to travel and visit other farms and get hands-on experience and like talk to people and like learn firsthand what is going on. And so this seemed like the perfect blend for us, for him to be able to get that experience that he's always wanted it, and then I get the experience of traveling. Like before we had kids, we used to travel quite frequently, but then like once kids come, everything kind of halts. And so that was it. And then the reason for the bus instead of the RV was again my idea. Well, I've always wanted to convert a school bus, but when are you ever going to need to do that to like actually do it? You know what I mean? It's kind of like one of those dreams that's like, that sounds like it would be great, but like life is never going to take me in that direction. So the bus instead of the RV was for several reasons. 1, customization. 2, we can use non-toxic finishes and materials so that the air quality inside our bus would be better. I react strongly to like when I go into RVs and stuff, like the smell is just like overwhelming. So I knew that I couldn't do like an RV. Plus, we wanted a diesel engine, and then diesel RVs are way more expensive. Durability, yeah. Like, we had an RV guy in here giving us a quote for the ACs, and he was like looking at the construction, and he's like, "Oh man, this is so nice." He's like, "If you had an RV, he's like, your kids would just like destroy it in 2 months." He's just like, it's just not made for durability. It's not made for kids. I mean, if you go into like Class A motorhomes, they have like white carpet. It's like ridiculous. It's like, why would you? I know, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
It's not like, like a floor that you can wipe up and do all these things. So it's kind of crazy to think that like we would spend so much money and then we would have to, customize it because no Class A RV has 4 bunk beds. So we would have to figure out another space for 2 more bunk beds. Plus we were going to have to add solar and all these things. So it just made a ton more sense for us to go ahead and just customize a bus. And plus, like, who doesn't want a converted school bus?
It's a
pretty
lot
cool.
cooler, and we don't like swirls.
No, I know. And
It's hard to get an RV without swirls.
RVs, like, we actually contemplated buying, like, an older RV and doing that, like, redoing the inside of it. But the outsides are so ugly.
Yeah.
And I noticed, one thing that I've noticed since being on the road is, like, RV tires are a lot smaller than our tires. Like, I really like our big tires.
Yeah.
I know, you'd think that, like, an RV this size would have, like, they're kind of small.
Sounds
And
kind of unsafe.
It seems that
Seems
way.
that way.
Plus, there was another factor, which is, what was it? I can't remember what it was. Hold on, it's going to come to me. There was one more factor.
Well, long-term investment, because we're going to rent it out on Airbnb.
Long-term
And
investment.
that would be
but
hard to
then
do with the RV.
Safety was the other one.
Yeah.
Like, an RV is built, like, it's like wood built. And so, like, if it was to flip over, it, like, collapse in on itself.
What?
But, like, this is built not to, like,
Yeah.
collapse in. So that was
Wow, built out of wood?
It's not safe.
So viewer Brian Thomas, he may have got this next question answered if you tuned into your live show this morning.
Okay.
But just in case he didn't, are you guys getting pigs when you get back?
Yeah, of course, yes.
100%.
I like some
I
that you can
love
take
bacon.
back with you too.
We have piglets.
We have
On your way
piglets.
back, if you wanna swing
They
this
are
way.
perfectly behaved and they never smell bad.
So they just come in.
They would be great.
just
Yeah,
come
just
with us.
you know,
Exactly.
yeah.
We'll board them.
You just put them under here,
That's right.
under the seat. Take it with you. Get one of those little
Crates.
doggy bags. Yeah, great.
You guys are going to be getting pigs and potentially some other livestock that are beyond chickens. I mean, Justin, you're the bird man. You're the chicken expert. You're the chicken man. So getting into pigs, and I'm hoping we can maybe by the end of this trip persuade you into some sheep as well. I guess you're going from, like, you know, this really known quantity with chickens to starting over with these new livestock that have some different requirements and different personalities and different pasturing management requirements. Mentally, how are you adjusting to going from being like the bird man, the expert chicken man, to getting new livestock that is going to be a brand new learning experience for you?
Yeah, I think, well, the birds will still be the centerpiece of our farm and my specialty and what we produce most of, because it just makes sense, you know, they're working with the garden and so many people can do chickens and blah, blah, blah. But with pigs, the chickens will probably have a role with the pigs. So it's not like I have the pigs over here and the chickens over here. That's not permaculture. Permaculture is making all those work together. And I'll incorporate them in around the centerpiece of our homestead, which will be the chickens. And as far as not knowing anything about bee, immediately we're going to get bees and pigs. Those are two immediate things, right? Well, I'm going to call you up, text you. I'm just going for it. I don't need to read the book on sheep. I just need to have a few questions answered and just do it. And same thing with the bees. Bill Castro, Maryland, trustworthy bee guy, does
Michael
it all
Jordan.
natural.
Yeah.
Well, Bill is closer to me and has offered to come and set me up. So
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
that's it. And I encourage people, like you have done, you found a mentor in your area. Because the book doesn't answer everything. I mean, when we got our first cow, that's the first mistake right there. First cow, one cow. And it was a heifer. It was supposed to be a steer, so a heifer means she goes in heat, and if she doesn't have anybody around, she wants to get the heck out of town. Well, Joel Salad didn't say anything about that in his book, Salad Bar Beef, and that's what I was going by.
Right.
He didn't
But
say
at the
don't
time-
get one cow.
But I didn't have Joel Salatin in my black book, so to speak, you know. But now, you know, in my iPhone. But now Greg Judy is. Okay. Jill Winger or whoever for cows. So I'm pretty good at we're pretty good at cows. We milked them for
We figured
2
out
years.
cows.
Yeah.
But
We did
sheep-
grass-fed beef before that. But
You're
I guess
our
what I'm saying
contact.
is, we're going to call people up, and you don't have to be Justin Rhodes to call people up. You can be Dan Oman and find somebody in the local area. You can buy your breed, your stock, and your breed. That's why I went to Black Oyster Lark, because that was the one person who had chickens that was in Asheville, a breeder. And I knew I'd need that support, and sure enough I did. Who replaced my rooster when it got killed? When King Daddy got killed, she replaced it. It was the same breeding stock, actually better, because she had been perfecting that line. And then, who did I call when I needed to know a question about hatching these eggs out under Mama Hen?
Yeah. our chicken mentor, and who's going to
Yep.
give us chickens to get us started right when we get home.
That's nice.
So
Which
I'll
I'm
be calling you.
excited, yeah.
You're gonna stick with oceloters?
Probably because she's
She's already offered to
She's
give
already
some when we
offered.
get home.
Yeah,
That's nice.
yeah. She's already gonna get us going.
So people say, what's your favorite breed of chicken? I say, the one where you can buy locally from an experienced
breeder
breeder
Yeah.
who's friendly.
Yep.
who's friendly.
Right.
And you can sense that maybe this is somebody you could call and ask a few questions to and they'd not be annoyed.
Yeah, we've done the same thing. It's been nice.
So another thing you guys kind of touched on in the live show that you did this morning with your channel, you'd mentioned the 18 things that you guys learned so far on the Great American Farm Tour. I mean, you guys are about 2/3 of the way through-ish.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
36 states.
So,
13 to go.
So we don't have many more to go.
but
kinda
there's
crazy.
still definitely some things out there to
Yeah,
take away from this journey for
totally.
sure. So one of the things you talked about was seeing the integration between the the goats and the pigs being rotated together, and that was something that was kind of new concept to you
Yeah.
guys. So I'm just kind of curious, in that spirit, what techniques have you picked up from seeing anyone's operation that you think you will incorporate? Not necessarily just animals, but if there are any kind of concepts or techniques that you're going to try to implement based on anything you've seen so far.
Well, I knew of chickens behind cows, 3 days behind cows for them to spread the manure.
Right.
And Joel Salatin has done that, but Tim from ABC Acres puts the chicken feed on the manure, and that forces them to scratch it. And I've been to Joel Salatin's, and they don't scratch every pie, but Joel Salatin doesn't have time to walk around to 500 piles of manure. But we're the homestead level.
Right.
There's no reason we can't go step on some manure. And that's one. And
Yeah.
other people who have had success with interns and things like that, treat them really well and pay them. And that's something that we want to do going forward. So we're learning from them in that way. Some of these farms that are a little further ahead and are at like the intern level or volunteer level, that type of thing.
At Spiral Ridge, he was also like when he would use the pigs and the goats, and then he would chop all
Yeah.
the trees down, and then he would burn them in place for the biochar.
Yeah.
And so like that was really neat, new concept for us, and we have a lot of woods
Right.
on our property. Like that's something that we have an abundance of, and so we can we can use those woods we would like to clear some of the woods that we do have that we can use for pasture, so we can use the pigs and the goats and then make biochar and like do all this in one area. It's like super efficient. I'm trying to think. I know we've learned so much. I mean,
What's going to happen is this is what's going to happen. It happened to me with this basil plant in the bus. I thought it was suffering. It was looking bad, and so I thought, oh, this is my new method. This is my new methodology. Now, who's in my phone that I could ask about this basil plant? So it wasn't like I sat down and read a book about, or a section in a gardening book, how to grow basil in a bus, right? I just did it, and when there's some sort of concern or something, that's when I reach out to somebody. That's when I reach out to a mentor. And he says, it's fine. So I think what we're going to do is go back and say, let's get bees. Okay, call Bill Castro and see what we need to do. Okay, I think we're ready to add sheep. Let's call Dan and see what we need to do.
well, see, Cliff Davis, he had something. And see,
He
he's
has
like
Tennessee
on our,
fainting goats. This is it too. Tennessee
Oh.
fainting goats don't jump.
because when
they're
they
scared.
get scared, they
He
faint.
had them in
Yeah.
a electric poultry net because he had the pigs and the goats together in a fence that big.
The fence was super
Now,
short.
if the goats jump the fence, that's dinner.
Right.
So
This is not pets for us. This is livestock.
Right.
So
yeah, so I mean, and we're getting meat goats. Like we're not getting dairy goats. We don't want to milk a goat. We want to do cows for sure. So that's why we're gonna go with more of a meat goat. And then Cliff has just had such success with keeping the goats and the pigs together.
And we're getting
And
goats to clear land. We're not going to,
yeah.
like Joel Salatin warned people, your goats are going to eat you out of your sustainability because most people don't have enough land for goats.
Right.
So we're going to use goats to clear 2 to 4 acres or maybe more,
Yeah.
and we're done.
Right.
The goat season is over.
Yeah.
And then there's 5 acres for sheep.
That's
grass.
great.
Yeah. So we want to definitely use them. We're using them as what we want. It's not like
Because that's one thing that they were saying is that the goats, they eat it all, and then they don't have, they don't have anything else.
Well, it doesn't grow back quick enough because
Yeah.
they don't like just grass.
They
eat
eat
the
browse.
bramble and
50%
stuff.
browse.
Yeah.
And that browsing stuff, years
It takes
for
years
proper
for it to-
recovery.
yeah.
Right.
So unless you're wanting to clear that,
Yeah. Well, I think we have plenty to clear. We have
Oh,
a
yeah, we
lot
have
to
so
clear.
much.
So we'll probably have goats for a while, and then once it's, but like once we're done, though, we'll eat them.
we're going to use that. I learned that from Jeff Lawton in one of his series. Grazes with or browses with the goats. They chop it off. When they move the goats out, they chop it off, and it sprouts again, and then they bring the goats back through. And you do that enough, and that kills the tree.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to use goats for what everybody hates them for.
We're out of time, guys. We have to run to get over to the meetup we're doing. We hope to see some of you guys there. Justin, Rebecca, thank you so much for sitting down with us, and we'll try and maybe pick up the conversation later on.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right, thanks.